Ah, hello there, Internet. This is the Frugal Elite Consultant, and today I just finished my last email to the partner and doing good things for the client. We're going to talk about shoe polish. But before we actually polish shoes, let's talk about the materials you're actually going to need. I don't have everything here that you might use, but I have the basic stuff. So let me give you an education if you've never polished shoes before. You definitely should do it yourself. Do not pay someone to do it. I don't know what it costs these days, but it's probably $10, $15, $20 a tip, even if you can even find someone to do that in the airport. This is not like the old days where you used to be able to find people to polish your shoes. So I have an array of things you might use to actually put on polish or use as polish. The first one is the standard Kiwi shoe polish. Okay, this is like the classic. If you've seen your dad, your grandpa polish shoes, you may have seen this stuff. It's got this cool little metal tin with a twist top that pulls off, and you see the polish in it. Kiwi makes a whole bunch of different types of polishes. This is the regular basic one. Of course, it comes in different colors, and you probably want to get, obviously, the color that goes with your shoes. Probably mean you'll have at least a black, always a black if you have any black shoes, right? And then probably some sort of brown, medium, dark brown, light brown. If you don't know, always go lighter rather than darker until you experiment. Kiwi makes several of these different types of things. The regular polish is pretty good, but the Parade Gloss will put a harder, shinier shine on the shoes if that's what you want. This will typically put a little bit more conditioning into the leather and help you. So that's Kiwi, and they're great, except for, as we'll talk about, you basically need to use a rag to put it on because it doesn't come with one. There's a couple ways you could do that. You could just take an old t-shirt, right, and cut that up into a small piece of cloth about that big and use it to put it on. You can also use one of these, which is sometimes called a dauber or an applicator or just a brush, a shoe polish application brush. You can get 3 or 4 of these on Amazon for $8. This retails for $8, $9 at your favorite online retailer, or probably a little cheaper if you were at a big box store live. The next type of thing we're going to talk about is mink oil. This is mink oil. Has kind of a funky, musky smell because it's really an animal product. It's kind of white and kind of pasty. What you use this for is actually not polishing, but every couple of basically, I use this in the fall and in the spring twice a year on my shoes. You just lather it on. We'll do it in a different video. And what it will do is deeply condition the leather with nice rich oil and waterproof it. So it's really important to have. Very cheap. You can get some of this for $8 to $14 depending on how expensive. This is probably a lifetime supply. You'll go through these one, depending on how much you're polishing, maybe one every 6 months or a year, maybe, depending on if it's a popular color or not. This is edging, which is on the side of the shoe here. You see the heel, and you could just use shoe polish for edging, but they actually make edging. This is a Kiwi product that has a little sponge, really nice, so you can just push down and move along the edge of the heel. This is another one that if I unscrewed it, it actually has, I haven't used this in a long time. It actually has a brush where you can apply it. That's also very good. Be careful with this. Don't, or as with any shoe polish, it's meant to stain. So before you start doing anything, lay down something. We'll get to that later. The final thing we'll cover today is the Johnson & Murphy shoe cream, which in my opinion is what I like to use, primarily because of this. It comes with a sponge applicator right on the end of the tube. These tubes only cost $8 or $9 from Johnson & Murphy, or probably from a retailer if you can find one that sells, like online retailer. One of these will be good for, I don't know, 15, 20 polishes. And that's quite a bit of value for $8 or $9. But the big thing is you don't have to mess around with a separate brush. That saves you a lot of time. You also don't have to mess around with a rag so you don't get on your hands. And it just makes it very fast. I can probably apply one of these to a shoe in less than 1 minute. You know, in under 1 or 2 minutes, you'll have your whole shoe polished up and ready to dry and go and basically brush off, which we'll get to in a future video. Anyway, that's all we wanted to talk about today, guys. There are other things you can get, such as shoe stains, which are literally meant to, all shoe polish does stain the leather. It stains leather, it will condition the leather, and it will put a protective barrier on it. This is kind of a nice balance between the two of staining it putting a protective barrier on it, shining it. It will be a softer shine a little bit than this, and the parade gloss will be even more. This is just for conditioning. In fact, it will dull the shine, and it'll take you 2 or 3 polishes to get that shine back, but that's okay. Thanks a lot, everyone out on the internet, and if there's any questions, put them in the comments. See you later. This has been the Frugal Elite Consultant.